Nini. Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Kemetic How-To Guide. I'm on location because something that you don't typically see happens. It's just happened here in my area. This is the Riverfront District in Shreveport, Louisiana, and as you can see behind me, most of it is underwater right now. You'll pardon me, the sun is very bright this afternoon. The river just crested from what the local news has been telling us due to rains and this area and further up the Red River in Texas and Oklahoma. And of course, if you're a fan of ancient Egypt, something like this might make you think of the annual Nile flood that would happen, and that was a very regular occurrence for them. They were a lot more used to that sort of thing than we are here. Okay, you can sort of see just beyond the no turn sign the rail bridge that goes over the Red River, and if you look very closely behind it, you can see just how fast the waters are rushing past that bridge, which really makes you wonder when the Nile would flood every year between late July and October, how much swifter were the currents at that point. And it gives you an appreciation for the Egyptians that they were able to navigate such swollen river waters without, apparently too much trouble. They were used to having that happen every year. It's hard to appreciate from here how swift the river in the middle of the channel must be flowing right now. So here we are at the edge of the river as of June 2015. Ordinarily, the edge of the river would be way out that way. And you can see from here how murky the water is, especially when you consider all the debris that must be in the water. Of course, another thing it makes you wonder is what's all of this going to look like after the water recedes and the ground is exposed again, because the Nile, of course, would wash volcanic floodwaters from the Ethiopian highlands, and that's what made the soil of Egypt so rich. The river here is called the Red River because of the heavy clay soil that tends to wash into the river. So some of that's probably going to be covering all the stuff behind me once the water recedes, which hopefully will be in a couple of weeks. So as you can see, we really weren't prepared for floodwaters of this magnitude here. The waters, from what I've heard today, are at 37 feet, and flood stage is 30 feet. And a lot of roads have been closed off because of that. Of course, in ancient times, when the flood would come, people had a fair idea of how high it would go up. There would be years where it would be too high or too low, obviously. But they accounted for the difference in the water, and so houses were built on higher ground. Actually, I was just talking to someone who said that the last time there was any water that was close to this high was in the 1940s. So it does happen periodically, and I would like to think that civil engineers see things like this and take things away from it, for building better levees, building things higher up, that sort of thing. But not always. A lot of people assume, oh, well, we won't have something like that happen again. My personal opinion is that we should learn from people like the ancient Egyptians that had to deal with this every year and factor high water into riverfront areas and things of the sort. Another concern that it would be interesting to see if this comes to pass or not is sometimes waters like this can actually affect the river channel and the course that it takes. And we know from archaeology that this happened with the Nile. It's changed its course a little bit over the centuries. And especially in the area around modern Cairo, the modern riverbed is a little bit further over from where it was at one point during the time of the pharaohs. And of course, with all of the modern buildup around the river locally, if the river tries to change its course, that could present problems for a lot of people. Well, this has been an interesting look at nature and comparing how certain things affect us here versus how they would have affected people in ancient times. It's always interesting to sort of think about that when things go on. So with that thought in mind, Hope to join you soon for new episodes. Until then, this is the Kemetic How-To Guide. And this is Sharon wishing you Sanepti.